Which camera is it, Fredrik's? Probably that one. So nice to have you also online. My name is Anki Hellberg Sågfors. I work as cultural developer at Nordic Culture Point with a specific focus on this house, an old military barrack from the 1860s. And we're so happy to fill it with Nordic artists and Nordic art. And here at Nordic Culture Point, we work by the principles of safer space. So we want everybody to feel welcome and included. And if by some reason you do not, then please contact me or my colleagues Amanda and Vanya. Today we have the opportunity to listen to our newest residency guests. Welcome, Maria Naidu, and welcome, Annika Bill-Lewis.
Thank you.
And it will be so interesting to hear more about how you work and how you work together. And also, we have the privilege of having Katarina Lindholm here from Zodiac, the Center of Dance, and she will be moderating the discussion. And usually you take care of international matters at Zodiac, so it continues here, now in a Nordic setting. But welcome everybody, and it's also possible to ask questions at some point in the discussion and also online if you wish, so we can bring them to the scene. But welcome everybody, and I give the word to you, Katarina.
Thank you, Anki. And really nice to be here. Let me first just apologize if my voice might crackle a bit. It is recovering from a flu, but I am super here anyway. So nice to have this chance to talk to you, Annika and Maria, because indeed, as Anki was saying, I have worked with contemporary performance and dance in particular for a very long time. Although my background is in theater research, so I have a kind of art research way into the contemporary performance field. Currently, I do work at Zodiac Center for New Dance, which is a production and presenting house with a festival and a residency program, and it's based here in Helsinki at the Cable Factory. Yeah, I've been working with particularly international matters, networks, projects, internationalization of dance, supporting dance artists in their international careers. And as a matter of fact, sustainability matters quite a lot for a long time in terms of how we can enhance the sustainability of our dance field, not only when it comes to ecological matters, but really about social and cultural and economical matters as well. So that might come a bit into this discussion as well. But yes, it is in this line of work, in particular in my Nordic and Baltic networks, that I've come across Annika and Maria and their works. So it's nice to have this chance to hear what you're up to now here in Suomenlinna. I think we're gonna talk now for some time, and then towards the end, let's make sure we have time for questions, because it would be really nice to hear also. I know we have professionals from other art fields here, and it would be nice to have that dialogue, because we are talking about performance, but indeed performance is actually a very multidisciplinary art form in itself. So perhaps I'll give the word first to you, if you could introduce yourselves a bit as individual artists, because then we're going to talk about you as collaborating artists. Annika, would you like to start?
Yes, my name is Annika Bill-Lewis, and I'm Swedish, but based in Denmark for 35 years. I'm working in the cross field of dance, theater, and performance art, and I call it artivism. I have my own organization company. It's called Cassandra Production, from the Greek myth about Cassandra, who was a future seer and somebody who saw things a little bit different than the ruling society. And I'm also freelancing for others, both as a performer and as a director, and I'm also a teacher. So, and I'm producing my own work, and I'm touring all over the world with my own work. And yes, I think that's me.
My name is Maria Naidu, and I'm also Swedish, and I live in the southern part of Sweden in a city called Malmö. And I've been working with dance professionally for 39 years. I work as a dancer. I also work as a choreographer. I make, very similar to Annika, I make my own work. I perform in some of my own work. I also employ other dancers to perform my work, and I also perform in other people's work. I produce my own work, and I perform it also, similar to Annika, all over the world. And lately I've also taken a stab at acting, which is very fun. And that's kind of similar to what you said, right? Yep, then I'm also going to stop now.
Thank you very much. So we will talk about the work that you will be doing here in Helsinki, but also about your artistic practice and about the topic of co-creating work. What does it mean for you? And in this particular collaboration, and also a bit about how residencies such as this one can give structure to working together. But I think we'll start at, I'm curious to hear a bit the backstory of how you met and what kind of sparked the idea of working together. And why did you want to work together?
Should we do this as a ping pong?
Yeah, shall we do that?
Yep, because up until yesterday at around 5 o'clock, I couldn't remember when we had first met. But then Annika started talking about something, and I was like, sure, but I didn't. And then, yes, you're right. So the first time we met that we both remember is in Aarhus in Denmark. And we were both there. I was working as a dancer in someone else's production, and Annika was working on something new that was her production. That's when we met, and I think, or you remember that the thing was, oh, you're Swedish, like we were very far away from home, and that we have found each other in this
Far away
very
abroad.
exotic. It's like, oh wow, we can speak the same language.
Yeah, but can I say something?
Yes.
So even if it was in a professional setting, I remember I saw you on the stairs, and it was some sort of, I nearly fell in love with you.
You never said that before.
No, but it was something with your humor and your blink in your eyes. So, and I think actually that is something that we have in between us. It's a sense of the same kind of humor, and to see things slightly queerish from the side of things. And that's where I feel in the family of you,
Yeah.
even if we professionally, sometimes at least, maybe not actually, but sometimes we maybe the outcome is very different of our work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is a shared sense of humor. But now I'll go back to this Aarhus again, because we then throughout the years we would meet up in different professional settings, different professional social settings. Let's say what's that called? Branschmässa.
Like a industry fair.
Industry fair.
Industry fair.
You know, or like going to see someone else's work and, oh, there's Annika, and like, oh, yes, would you, you know, it's like have a glass of wine, like that kind of thing. But we weren't friends, and we never we never did this, like, you know, come over for dinner, or, you know, like, wasn't that kind of thing. So we would only meet in these kind of social professional settings. And then at some point, and I cannot remember when, maybe you again will remember that, is like, you know, shouldn't we do something together? And this is like, I don't, it would be so nice to actually remember when that moment was, because what was the reason for, you know, that it was right then that we like, shouldn't we do something together? Why didn't it happen before, you know? But so maybe we'll, you know, through our talks, we'll realize when that was. And then we still didn't, you know, just like, yeah. And then we, again, like next social meeting, professional meeting, we're like, oh, should we do something? Yes. And then I think we finally got it together, like, okay, let's meet for a coffee, and to sort of feel each other out again as colleagues, artists, not at all friends. And then we had a dinner together.
And we saw a piece together also. Maybe not exactly the same
Yeah.
time, but
And we did,
saw
yeah, exactly.
some art together.
Yeah.
Some performing arts.
And then we like, okay, we're going to do something together.
And then I had a residency in the south of Denmark. It's called Guldborgsund, where I was in a wild park, or bewildered park. And before I was going there, I asked you, shouldn't we meet up there? Can't you come there to south of Denmark and then we can work together maybe for a week or so. I was there for a month, but you had the opportunity to come. You had the time, fortunately, to come there. And we started to develop some sort of collaboration. We were doing some training together. We were working on what we call on the floor, so working with some physical exercises, and then we started to brainstorm together. What are we interested in? Do we have the same interests? And we were painting and putting on post-it papers and talking about different themes. And
they went, it was fantastic, because I think we really allowed ourselves to be completely free in our thoughts, and we didn't censor each other or oneself. And then it was like, you know, it's like, oh, it's about the duet, you know, it's like, and it's like, oh, like it really went that way. And then it was about maybe I'm making this up, but it felt like I was leaving in 2 hours' time, and we still didn't have the thing that we were going to work with, which is okay. But then, for some reason, the theme or topic icons come up, and we were both like, "That's it," and then goodbye. we leave, and then we meet again. And I really don't know, but I mean, of course, it's those discussions that eventually lead up to this, and we both agreed that that's super interesting.
Yeah, and that is where we have kept that theme, icons, and that is also the theme that we are working with here in Sveaborg. So we also decided at that time that we would try to have a not go, because we are both very used to be extremely productive. So we are in a sort of a production race, you can say. And it's both very tiring and it's also exhausting, both you as a person, but also I think creative. So we both had the need and the wish to say, okay, let's take it a little bit slow this time and let's have time. So let's go for different residencies as a way to work together. And that will mean that we will do other work in between, and that will mean that maybe there will be a time going in between we meet. And so we were going for that.
Yeah.
Let's do residencies.
Yeah, it's sort of like it unfolds then through these residencies that, you know, we carefully select which residencies we want to apply to, because we feel like, you know, that they can add something to each other. And then we have applied, and then the ones that get a positive response. Actually, we've got only positive responses, right?
Yeah, more or less only positive.
I mean, it feels kind of nice to say that, right? Let's say that. But then it's like, okay, so that's the next, and then that's the next, and you know, it's not like we don't think about our theme or this project in between. Of course we do, but we also know that, like now, we have these designated 2 weeks that we can really indulge in this thematic.
Yeah, and I just want to add for the working process, it's also, even if we maybe didn't use the word sustainability in the very beginning, it was a need that we had. We had the need to have more time, both to reflect and not just stress things through. And
No, that sounds like a very typical also progression of when you decide to work collaboratively. And I have to say, it's so funny that the way you like told us your backstory, it kind of sounds like a plot of a romantic comedy, you know.
Yeah.
You have to date a bit and you have to see how it works out, and then you find what's there. And so now we're kind of in the sequel of that. I wanted to ask you to tell us a bit more. I know there will be an open studio next week and you'll be further along and you'll show and share other things, but could you tell us a bit about the work in the making right now, which is called Icons, a genuine performance piece? Something would be nice to hear also how you resonate around the genuine. And you will explore the contemporary Nordic woman, icons, and the picnic also as a performative format. So I think we would be like to hear a bit about both of these things. But if we start, even if it might seem like an obvious or banal question, but why were you drawn to this subject of female icons, and how are you approaching it? What does it mean for you?
Can I start?
Yeah.
So for me, the concept of icon is rather complex. It's both, for example, religious icons, but it's also idols. And we have been discussing a bit what's the difference, but we kind of ended up with where we are now, that it's we take it as the same. So it's some sort of a symbol where we project our dreams and needs and wishes on. So it's a sort of a symbol, and can be also sort of a mask. And in that, it's so many stories. It's both, of course, something that is resonating with us as performing artists in the field of performance art, being on stage, and trying to be, yourself maybe, but with the others, the audience gaze, there will be a mask or something that is where you interpret that person. And so it's both, I would say, on a personal level, this with a figure like Marilyn Monroe, Madonna, like idols, the Madonna, both the rock star, the music star, as well as the Madonna as a religious symbol. But it's also something in our society where I question, why do we need idols or icons? Is that a part of a hierarchic system thinking? And are we all icons, or do we need an icon to keep our collective in a hierarchic system? So for me, it's both the person, the figure, as well as the collective, the society in that. And we are not, we are just starting out, opening the theme, I will say.
Yeah, I think that was very well said. I can only agree. And I think that the thematic is brilliant, actually, because it's like, I know that everyone that's watching us online and that's here now, it's like icons, it does something to you. It's like, you're like, oh, and then you start to think like, is there a difference between an idol and an icon? And like for me, quite early on, I was like, what is it that makes a person an icon? Like, are there different things that they must do to get this status? And then that also led, of course, to like, what happens then if I do all those things? Like, that's kind of typical me, I think. Like, I like to have those, like, step 1, check. Step 2, check. If I did all those steps, would I then also become an icon? And that led me to thinking about, something that I would only say to Annika, actually, but it's like, maybe we are already icons, maybe. And I also, because this was me taking the initiative for that, right when we started, or when we had our first residency, chat GPT was new, so I was like, let's ask ChatGPT. And according to ChatGPT, who was very young at the moment, there are actually certain steps that you could take to become an icon. And there was also like certain things that these people that ChatGPT says has an iconic status have done. But it also, or the thing that stood out for me, was that actually it seems, according to ChatGPT, it's not possible for me to say that I am an icon. Like, it seems like it has to be everyone else has to say that I or that we are icons. But that was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, and then we actually had another residency in Malmö, where we were setting up different materials, and we realized that, okay, we need to put ourselves higher than the audience. What do we have? We have bar stools. Yeah, let's sit on 2 bar stools. But then the audience has to be down there on the floor, so we can be elevated, in a very easy way, and people can look up at us. And then we realized that, okay, but maybe they are sitting on the floor, but we need to have some blankets and stuff like that. Let's do a picnic. So people are sitting down there in a very cozy picnic, but we are elevated. So we are lifted up. So that was also how the context, the spatial idea of the picnic came. as a part, important part, and then we, of course, we have want to develop that a little bit more than that idea. But what also happened in that situation, because we had the guests or audience coming in for this picnic with us, and we were sitting there on the stools. We were also working on the fall, and I think that is very interesting. The fall of the icon, the fall of a person that we have elevated, and in a way, we are a little bit like predators. We love that. We love famous people falling down, because that's where all the gossip magazines and media today are, working. It's the fall, and everyone says, "Yeah, look at that person is lying down." So the fall is also extremely interesting, I think, and of course also from a performative point of view. And what does it mean when you fall from the grace, when you fall from the so
And we've also worked with like maybe iconic movement patterns, like for instance, like you could say like the walk of an alcoholic. Like there's something maybe there's something iconic there, or a like a heroin addict. Like we can sort of see this. So we're also like going that way. And I just wanted to say something very quick about this, why female Nordic? Because, like, when do we ever speak about female Nordic icons? Like, I also find it, like I really have to think about, like, takes me a while to come up with these things. So I think that's also...
and we talked about it yesterday,
Yeah.
actually. Who is it? Who do I think, who is an icon for me, a Scandinavian icon? Because we are so dominated by American value systems today through social media and stuff. And where is the Nordic in heritage? And of course we are both Scandinavian or Nordic. So So this, who is it? And I was speaking about, for example, Astrid Lindgren, who for me is an iconic person, a woman who, and why? Why do I think so? Yeah, it's because she was a feminist very, very early, and a strong woman, and she was creative, and she had some challenges and struggles, but she handled those struggles and challenges. It's also something with that. It's the challenges that person who become or is an icon have gone through that is important, I think, in the symbolism, or what to say. It's
in the path of becoming an icon.
Exactly. So it's the struggle. Is a very important part of it. And then we were talking about who do we have more, and what is a Scandinavian icon? Who is a Scandinavian icon for you?
Yeah, it took me fine. I was like, Heliga Birgitta. She's a saint, And then I was like, well, why is she an icon for you? Annika said, for you, Maria. And I was like, because I know that she is an icon, but I'd actually realized, like, I don't know anything about. I just know that Heliga Birgitta is an iconic figure. Finally, like, I would say 5 hours after, I was like, Greta Garbo. It's like, there we have an icon that is actually also known all over the world. Yeah, we came up with some other names, but it's interesting because it's like it really takes you
Yeah, and why is it an icon for you, and what is kind of attracting you or speaking to you? And I also had to add, of course, Pippi Longstrump. And for my generation, Pippi Longstrump is very important. And she was not a living person, but a fantasy figure. And she's still alive. And there is so much, how to say, strength and that you can bring with you as a living person
Yes.
from that story with Pippi Longstrump. So I wanted to add her.
And we
too.
talked about Tove Jansson.
Yeah.
And we talked about Lilla My.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like once I got into that thinking, I was like, "Ooh, there are many," but it took me a while. So that's why I'm very happy that we're actually like zoomed in on that while we're here.
And it's also a very you can cover a great deal of time when you talk about icons and what you regard, what the society may be, or what our cultural regards as icons versus what do you personally regard as an icon for you. So it gets into very interesting questions, I think, there, and also generational questions and so on. I wanted to go a bit into the fact that you are, anyway, two artists who have very strong independent careers and you do works in your own practice, but now creating something together, which of course always it's collaborative and it when we're dealing with a collective art form such as performance, you have the artists and the audience and things that happen in a space and a time. So it's in a different way a collaborative event in itself. But when you actually sort of combine your practices and have a dialogue with them, how do you find right now co-creating this work and work in general, as opposed to making work that's just your own, where you make the decisions all the way? Can you reflect a bit on these two modalities of working, maybe?
Yeah, I think that is actually the big difference, that when I make my own work, I make or I take all the decisions. That's what I do. But here I don't. And for me, it's very important that the decisions that are being made, that they are joint. Like, and it gives such pleasure. Like when we're like icons, yes, says both people. Picnic, yes. Or like earlier on today, like Annika was like, you know, I have this idea, and then it's just very interesting that we've been together here only for 2 days, but it's like, you know, I thought something very similar. So it, you know, goes, and yeah, that's the thing. To maybe also in, that at this moment it gives me pleasure to maybe not have to or be the sole decision maker. Like that's why I want to do this. If I wanted to do my own work, then I would have done that. But I think, and we're both seasoned enough so that we know that when you're going to do a collaborative work, that's what that means. It's like maybe like I'm not gonna fight for my ideas. The interesting thing is to actually collaboratively come up with an idea and then mold it together. But I also feel like something that I said yesterday is if I feel that Annika has an idea that maybe I don't immediately understand, may possibly also like kind of don't agree with, but I feel that the need or Annika's conviction is so strong, then I have total respect for Annika as an artist. So then if it's that strong a need from Annika's side, then I will say, then let's do it.
And can I add
Yes.
something? So I totally agree with you, and I just want to add that I'm also how to say, I have a pleasure of having another angle on things that you come with. So it's about listening to you and, oh yeah, no, yeah, okay, that's great. So it comes another angle and color on things that I myself couldn't do. And that I think is very stimulating and joyful. Uh, and also a part of it is to give space both for us, but also for you. So and when I'm the boss, then I'm driving in a different way in the front seat, where I know, okay, I have to do the decisions now. And here I can ask you, so what do you think about this? Or and you come up with an idea, or so it's another. The ping pong thing is on another equal level than if I'm producing my own work. Yeah.
And it's probably anyway based on a certain need also to do work about this subject with this person, because then it's that's the added value for this piece, so it just needs to click
Yes.
very much.
Yes.
And I was actually curious, because as you said before, that you have kind of gotten to know each other in a professional context. Have you discovered now, up until now, and maybe more will happen, but have you discovered lots of differences or similarities in your practices that have come up once you actually started creating work together? And kind of how have you found the common ground that you have, obviously, working together?
Yeah, for me, I think it's very much about listening. And so I feel that you are very good in sensing, listening, going with your intuition. And I do a movement and I feel, okay, you respond to it without us talking. So it's a wordless communication that I feel we have together. But we can also talk, and we can talk a lot. and and there it's I also feel similarities in many ways, both as persons in a way, how we view the world, I would say, and also view the performing arts field, but also practical, even if there may be some of the concrete trainings have been different, the structure in it, or how to say, I would call it the structure of it, it's very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have anything to add. I can just agree. Timing, did you say that? Like, totally, yeah. And that maybe was a surprise. I'm not sure. Or maybe that surprises other people. I'm going to take these off because I think they're banging on my... maybe that's a surprise for other people, that, a dance person and a performance art person can actually, like... But it's the theater. Like, we share that.
Yeah.
Theater.
And another thing, and it's connected to this with the listening and the intuition. And you asked it before. It's why do you call it a genuine performing arts piece?
Yeah.
Because I think that's our humor.
Yeah.
It's our irony there. Huh? We are poking, in a way, both out, but we are also poking ourselves. It's genuine. How can you say that?
We'll
So
just say it.
so in that sense, I feel we have very much the same humor. Coming back to that, what we talked about in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good that you got back to that, because it's a fun twist. Yeah.
And there's been... it was in Malmö, and we had this text that we were working with, and we just started laughing, like laughing like until you're crying because of this one word that was in the text, and it was really like and it was like, okay, yeah, that's what we have together. This shared, very fun sense of humor.
This makes for excellent promotion of the work already.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining.
I have some more questions, but I was wondering if there would be any questions right now in the room. Please feel free to ask them. I might repeat them for the recording. If there's anyone who'd like to ask something. Or it can be a comment also. Yes. Okay, there is a mic.
Oh.
Great.
I was just thinking, like, on your possible journey towards being an icon. Would it be helpful to actually die or be non-existent, a fictional character, instead of a person living currently?
That it might come posthumously, the status.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an icon expert yet, but I think like that's so interesting. Like, because then I immediately, just by you posing that question, then I'm like, no. I mean, there are living, there are icons for me that are now dead, but I think they were iconic even when they were living. So it's like, that's why I love the topic, because it just makes me think.
And I think that actually coming back to this with the struggle, that the iconic figure has gone through some struggles or some challenges. And that is where the stuff is, I think. But then I have to add that from part of my training has been physical training from Grotowski and some other physical theater makers. And I've gone through some exercises that were more or less about kind of dying. And the aim of those exercises were created to let go of the mask that we all have as a person and a private person, to take off, to come into some sort of an essence of existence. And there is where the gold is for the performer, and that is, there is other theories or ways of working where you actually put on masks instead. You put on some different masks to become something. So for me, there is these two, maybe there is other ways also, but at least they are very clear for me, these. You take off the mask, and then you have to do some exercises for being able to do that. And then the question, is it possible? I don't know. And the other one is to put on your identity. You put on different things to become something. And maybe it was a sidestep, but it's,
No, but that's very, it makes you dig deeper in this whole concept. Any other questions at the moment? If there are, just please raise your hand and I'll try to pick you up. In the meantime, I just wanted to also ask, I know this also might be kind of an obvious question, but I think it's important to reflect on that, especially when we're here in the Nordic Culture Point and you're here in a residency program. Since you're based in Malmö and Copenhagen, very close to each other, but still you've chosen to structure your collaboration by working in residencies, as you explained also before. What kind of role do these residencies play in your artistic careers, but especially when you collaborate? Why not just visit each other, in whenever you want to and work on it? Why do you need this time and space and then forget about it and then get back to it? How does it influence the work in progress?
Well, I think the residencies that we've applied to have given exactly what you just said. They provide time and place, and usually some kind of economic Yeah, now I can't think of the English word for ersättning.
Support,
Support.
yeah.
So that we are able to dedicate this time w- to actually, completely immerse ourselves in this thematic. And I was like, that's not really true as I said it, because of course we still have to continue working with other things, but we can do it less when we're here. Maybe it's like 2 hours that we do the other stuff, and then we can just work with this.
So it's also the opportunity to be in a space where you are outside your own day life and your day kind of must do or have to, and that is a fantastic opportunity, I would say, to have that time and space and also to be a little bit outside of your own comfort zone. And here we are both that. I've been in Malmö, for example. It was not so far away, but it was still very different for me to be in Malmö, and for you it was your home context. But here we are both out of our own comfort zone and our own context. So I think that's very important gift, actually, that I'm extremely thankful to have that ability or gift to be here. And what I think as an artist is always very productive to be out of your own comfort zone. And it's many different ways to do that. But to be in a residency in another country, that could be a part of it.
Yeah.
And another thing is that I think it's very interesting with being in another Nordic country. I haven't been here in Finland since it's many years ago I was here. So everything is different here, but still so similar. But it's everything from the sound, from the smell, from the people, from everything, and that is extremely stimulating and also ability to meet people that you haven't met before, and to listen and to understand another culture and another country. Yeah.
I mean, what you just said now, meeting other people and having other people's perspective on the thematics that we're working with. I mean, that is also a gift, It's like, and we're getting that here vad heter det på svenska, automatically, because we're here in a different context. And I also very much enjoy, but this is also how we selected the residencies that we wanted to apply to, that, it's like we have this public meeting today, and then we're also going to have this open studio, but it's clear that we are here to work, to explore. We're not at all expected to present something, a finished product, and we, the artists, decide or are in charge of what we want to share with the audience or with the public, and how. And I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, and it's as you say, it's like plays a big role in the artistic creation and in that practice. But I often maybe feel dealing with a lot of cultural policies and cultural fundings and that kind of discourse that still I find the residency work, as maybe it's the same in all art forms, but in performing arts often it's somehow not recognized, the many kinds of values that artists have from working in residency. It's the artistic content and contributing to the creation, but it's also about structuring your work and allocating your time, which we know for freelancers, time is a very important resource. So that's why I find it always good to kind of reflect on all the kinds of values that residencies give to independent artists. And I think what you described is a really good example of how you actually need to find that time and space. I'm getting the sun in my eye,
Yes,
but
you
is
are.
there are there any further questions or thoughts that you have? Yes, there was a. I can repeat for the.
Mm.
There we go. That okay. Now I'm in the recording.
Yes.
But do you already have any sense of what that finished product is going to be or might be? Or maybe a better question is, how do you feel you will know when you're getting to that point? Because you're also in performing arts. You're in a whatever that thing down there is going to have other people in it. It's social in some way. How will you know when you're at the end? Is there an end?
So I think we have, both of us have an image of where we are going and where we want to be when we start to invite an audience. So the question for us now at this point is how to get the resources to come there to this point. So that's also part of our time here, is to start the process of fundraising. And a part of that is, of course, to write a project description. We have one, but we need to develop that. So, and also my experience is it's a very good process to write a project description, and especially together, because that is also part of our creative process, and also a part of how we imagine together the 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 performance that now I will call it the finalized performance, but maybe it will not be finalized. Maybe it will be a continuous change in that format. We don't know that yet, but something where we meet an audience at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I agree. How do we know when it's there? I mean, I think at the moment we are thinking like, okay, residency, explore, and then, you know, we get all the money together and we do the production exactly. But I thought yesterday when we were going to the sauna, I was like, or maybe not. Maybe this is going to be like an ongoing project that keeps going until we die. I mean, it could be. I find it really like it's very interesting and nice to think about it that way. But we will, I think, most definitely still go this kind of traditional route of, you know, writing them and getting the money together. But I was like, oh, I've never thought about something like that, that this could be ongoing for the rest of my life. Like, that was kind of, I don't know, like revolutionary for myself. And yeah, I don't think I would have even thought to come up with such an idea or thought if it wouldn't have been through this, because of how we worked. But there was also, right after we had that first meeting with audience representatives, when we were like, picnic is a great thing, then we were like, oh, actually we could just take this little concept and start to travel it and perform it. Like, it was like, it's kind of done. And we both enjoyed entertaining that idea. Then we didn't do that, but yeah, that's all I have to say about that at the moment.
even if this might go on forever and all that what you just said, I still like to know a bit how the work will develop now after these weeks in Helsinki. Like, what do you see in the pipeline for this work? Concretely speaking, like premieres and all that.
Yep.
So hopefully we will be in one, maybe even two more residencies. And we want to have a work that is at least the first part of a presentative work in the autumn of 2027.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're also looking for residencies. What were that? Was that Greece? Or something like, or I mean, people can also contact us, right? If you want us to come to your residency place, you could contact us.
Tips welcome.
We still have
tips
some.
are welcome.
Yes.
We do have some little pockets of time.
Well, thank you so much, Annika and Maria, for sharing all these thoughts and the process so generously, even if you are kind of still in the more beginning than towards the end. But it was really, I think, relatable. You're working with such a relatable subject that it's interesting to see where you take it next. And hopefully we'll get to see, hopefully some of you will be here for the open studios and that we will get to see it soon already. And thank you so much, Nordic Culture Point, for hosting the conversation, and everybody who stayed and listened.
And thank you, Katarina, for moderating, and thank you, Annika
thank
and
you
Maria.
So thank you.
So we're very happy to learn more about your process to becoming icons.
Yeah.
Or maybe if I say thank you, our icons,
Yeah,
then you
future
already are.
Okay.